Guys, welcome to week 2 of Standman Travels. It's week 2, second episode 2, no clones in sight, so that's a good sign. And today marks exactly 2 weeks until I take off and I hit the road. So as promised last week, this week's episode is all about what it means to be a world-traveling backpacker and what you can do so that you can start living that crazy jet-setting, globe-trotting backpack traveling dream. Welcome to Standman Travels Dispatches from the Road, Installment 2, How to Be a World-Traveling Backpacker. I'd say the pilot was pretty successful. The only real note I got was, more dog, please. Guys, hashtag more dog is gonna be a thing. This is for you. This is for all of you. I present hashtag more dog. Ricky, what's up, little buddy? Hey, you wanna play? Ricky, you wanna play, little? You ready, boy? You ready? Go get it! Good boy, Ricky. Good boy, Ricky. First off, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in, who watched the pilot, who shared it, checked it out. I even got some international outreach. Bulgaria, Romania, Norway. I see you guys. And Canada. Oh, special shout out to Canada. I am on fire in Canada right now. But I digress. If we're going to scientifically get to the bottom of what it means to be a world-traveling backpacker, we're going to need a lab. So join me in the lab of world travels. Of course, the most important piece of equipment for becoming a world-traveling backpacker is the backpack. This here is the same backpack I took last time I went to Europe. This is the Kelty Red Wing 50. Now, the first thing I'll say about buying a backpack for the road is do your research. Obviously, I can only really talk about my experience with this particular backpack, but there are so many makes and models and different kinds out there that could totally work for what we're talking about. So let's start off with the most important factor, size. If you want to travel quickly, lightly, efficiently, cheaply, how big your backpack is really going to influence that. I've been out on the road and I've definitely seen people walking around with the 60, 70 liter, professional backpacking, camping backpacks. If you're going to be doing some actual camping, or if you're going to be encountering some weather extremes on your trip, like you're going to be hitting up the beaches of Fiji one week and you're going to be snowboarding the Alps the next week, then having a bigger pack might actually work out for you because you're just going to need to bring more stuff to deal with those temperature differences. But for me, and the kind of city backpacking that I'm doing, something like that, 60, 70 liters, that's just overkill. Not to mention that when you start getting into those bigger backpacks, they start to get a little expensive. And that's kind of antithetical to the whole travel the world on a budget kind of thing that we're going for here. So, having a larger backpack is really also going to influence the kinds of modes of transportation you can take. If on your trip you're mostly traveling, major name brand airlines, buses, trains, then even a 60 or 70 liter backpack could be okay. You might still be able to get away with taking that as a carry-on onto a plane. And with, the overhead luggage racks on buses and trains, you mostly won't have a problem with it. Where you might start to run into trouble is if you start using budget airlines. For anybody who hasn't looked into it or heard about these budget airlines, the way they work is they sell seats really cheaply. You can get seats for like $10, $20, but they charge really cheaply for the seats, and then they charge you for all these other features. Most of these budget airlines will let you bring on one carry-on item and one personal item, but they're very, very strict on the sizes for the carry-on. So if you have a big 60-70 liter backpack, no way, that's not gonna cut it. They're gonna make you check that into the hold and they're gonna charge you for it. Again, the moral of the story is do your research. Think about what kind of trip you want to take, what kinds of weather will you have to prepare for, will you have to bring extra clothes for that, and just think about the types of transportation you want to use to get around. Because if you do want to use budget airlines, which are fantastic choices to get around cheaply and quickly, you just need to know about this other side of it and these other sorts of problems that can arise if you just take so much stuff and you have a huge backpack. So what's my story? How did I come to be matched up with such a wonderful travel companion? Because one of my main concerns was, okay, when I first went to Europe, I took a major airline into and out of Amsterdam, and I took trains and buses around otherwise. You mostly won't find any sort of luggage restrictions or troubles with all those kinds of things. But I wanted to get a backpack that wasn't just going to be good for this trip, I wanted to get a backpack that was going to be good for a future trip as well. A future trip, I don't know, kind of like this one that I'm doing, where I was taking a whole bunch of budget airlines all over the place. Again, the moral of the story, can't be said enough, is do your research. There are plenty of travel blogs and websites out there where people are talking about the best kinds of backpacks and the backpacks they've had the best experiences with while traveling. So check those out, read the product reviews, and really, I can't say this enough, like if you can, go to a store and actually, look at, check out the stuff in person, check out the backpack in person. And that said, part of being a backpack traveler is just paring down to the bare essentials. And let me tell you, you're gonna need a lot less than you think you do. So now you've got your backpack, you're ready to hit the road. What do we pack? How do you get everything in there that you need for a trip that's going to be weeks or even months on the road? So for your basic everyday wear, I found that the perfect amount of stuff to bring where you're not doing laundry every other day, but also your backpack's not bursting at the seams, is to pack for an entire week's worth of clothing wear. So you're going to want 8 shirts, 8 pairs of socks, 8 pairs of underwear. I hope showing those doesn't sound like make this red band. 2 pairs of jeans, 1 pair of shorts. Wait, Ryan, you only told us to bring stuff for a week. Why are there suddenly 8 pairs of things? You ready for this? You ready for the pièce de résistance? The coup de grace? Can you tell I've been practicing my French? You wear the 8th set. It's like you get to bring an entire other outfit with you for free. What? So really what you end up packing is your 7 shirts, your 7 pairs of socks, your 7 underwears, your 1 pair of jeans, and your pair of shorts. And really, that's it. That's your basic clothing. That's all you really need to get by from day to day. From there you can fill out and add in some other things based on, the weather you're going to encounter and your personal preferences. I myself, I like adding in 2 flannel shirts. Flannel is a little bulky, but it's also very versatile. It's much lighter and less bulky than, say, a full outer jacket, so it's great to just toss in your day pack. And that way if the weather turns and gets a little cold during the day, boom, right there, super easy. But it also doubles as nightwear, so if it's a little cool where you are, boom, throw on a flannel shirt. Ah, look at that, pajamas. And of course, the other great thing about flannel is it's rock and roll, which that's a great concern to me. Oh, and of course, can't forget a slightly nicer collared shirt for going out. We gotta bring a little bit of class to the whole, backpacking roughing it experience. All right, so for this trip, I'm bringing a couple warm weather items along with me because it's gonna get chilly. I'm traveling during February, March, and I'm going to some pretty high latitudes. I think Scotland, there'll be a whistling wind or two. So I'm bringing a scarf, gloves, a pair of woolen hiking socks in case I need a little bit extra warmth for my feet, and a beanie. I almost forgot practically my favorite thing in the whole world. So this is an ultralight down jacket. Great thing about ultralight down is it's down. It's super warm. As you can see here, it's very thin. It's got a very thin profile to it. The best thing about this for when you're backpacking is, boom, you got a little bag right here, and you just go ahead and you, boom, look at that. Compacts down into a real nice small little package. I really recommend an ultralight down jacket like this for traveling because when I went to Europe last time, I brought a sweatshirt, which, don't get me wrong, was super cozy when I was sick and just curled up in bed all the time in Munich. But sweatshirts are pretty bulky. They don't really compact down as nicely as a lot of other things. Such a better alternative, packs down so nicely. I really recommend picking up one because they're warm, they're lightweight, it's the backpacker's dream. This particular one is from a company called Uniqlo, and I got it it was $80, which might be a little bit on the pricey end in terms of clothes, but it's definitely on the cheap end in terms of ultralight down. It's absolutely great. It's one of my favorite jackets. Okay, so got everything laid out, you see everything that's gonna go into this, and you're probably looking at it going, that's a lot of stuff. I thought you said we were gonna be traveling light. We are traveling light, but it looks like it's taking up a lot of room. How are we gonna get that into this backpack? Here's the trick. Here's the real trick to everything. For those of you who are experienced travelers, whether backpackers or you just travel a lot for business or something, you probably already know this trick, but for those who don't or who just never thought about it before, here it goes. You ready for this? Follow with me. You'll roll everything up. I learned that one when I was in Australia. Our bus driver told it to us. Seriously, look at that. Everything is much smaller, it's much more compact, and once we actually start packing up the backpack, you'll see everything also like stacks very nicely. Much better than it would have if you tried to put everything in there flat, and it would have been a mess. All right, so let's actually pack the backpack. To start with, I put the heavier, denser things that I'm not gonna have to access as often at the bottom, so I can build a nice solid base. So the jeans and shorts going on the bottom. Next, I'll put the flannel shirt that I'm not wearing into there. Then I'll do the t-shirts, and then I'm gonna fill in the sides with socks and underwear as much as I can. But when we're done, it still looks like there's a lot of space. So I'm gonna just fill in the rest of that space with the ultralight down, with the scarf, with the gloves, all that warm weather stuff that I'm bringing along for this particular trip. Guys, that's all the clothes you need to travel the world. This is just a good, just basic, versatile wardrobe that will see you through, again, from anywhere from a week to several months. I know there's probably some fashionistas among us who are a little bit worried. Oh my God, Ryan, you just rolled up all your clothes and shoved them in the bag. When you pull them out, your shirts are gonna be all wrinkled, especially that really, really nice dark blue dress shirt that you took with you. This is true. My solution to things like that is pretty much every hostel is going to have laundry facilities, so you can either pay a couple bucks to run things through the dryer, that'll heat it up and kind of get you like a poor man's kind of ironing job. Or you can do what I do, and when you go to take a shower, you just take whatever shirts and stuff that you want to get steamed out, take them in the shower, drape them on the curtain rod, and let the steam and the heat get in there, and then once you're out, you're all dry, just put it right on, and that should pretty much take care of most of the wrinkles. Will it be perfect? No. Will it be good enough? Yes, sir. And will it save you a couple bucks? Yes. All right, our moms will be proud of us. We've ensured that we're not gonna have to run around the world naked. Not just our moms, the rest of the world's probably pretty thankful for that. So let's move on to, the final touches, the personal items that you need to bring along with you. So we've got your toothbrush. When I'm at home, I use an electric toothbrush, but when I'm on the road, I use the good old hand-powered manual one. Electric toothbrushes are a little bit more bulky, so they'll take up more space, but then you gotta worry about charging them. Electric toothbrushes are just a huge pain on the road, so I recommend going back to your regular old normal toothbrush. All right, let's talk about socket adapters. This one I got right here. This one claims to be a universal socket adapter that will get you power anywhere in the world. No matter where you're gonna go, no matter where you're gonna travel, you're gonna have to deal with different power sockets than where you came from. Just like everything else going on today, do your research. Research what countries you're going to, what power socket type they have, and then go online and there's an infinite number of different possibilities. So I stumbled upon this one, and this was, it was $10 or $12, I think. And it's got everything you can possibly ask for. So you just hit the little switch here, and you got your UK style adapter right there. Out on the other end, you've got your US, and then it curves around so it can be an Australian type of adapter. To get your European adapter, you just press the little button, boom. Suddenly you've got your European adapter. Other thing I like about this one is that it not only has a plug for your 3-prong type of things, like your computer, but it also has USB ports. So I've been using this at night after a day of shooting to charge my phone and to charge my spare battery all at the same time. So it's a very nice little piece. All right, the other issue you're gonna run into with electronics besides just socket adapters is also the issue of voltage. So if you're planning on taking electronics overseas, or if you're from overseas coming to America, you might need to look into getting a voltage converter in addition to your socket converter. Now, the good news is that when I went to Europe last time, I dove in deep, I did research on this, and at least from what I found, it turns out that most modern electronics have voltage converters in them. So for instance, I took my iPhone with me, and I didn't have to get a voltage converter because there's a voltage converter built into it. So for my research, it seems that most things like your iPhones, like your other cellular phones, most modern laptop computers that were made in the past like 4 to 5 years, they have voltage converters built in, so you shouldn't have an issue. Now, that said, I take no responsibility for anybody that travels overseas or comes here and they fry their electronics, because their defense is, well, Ryan and Stanman Travels told me that everything should be fine. Nope, no responsibility, take none of it, it's all on you. Just like everything else, do your research. Look up your exact phone, look up your exact computer, look up your hair dryer, your laser pen, whatever you're taking with you. Look it up, find the exact model, contact the manufacturer, do whatever you have to do. In my experience, things were fine, and if you're just doing like your cell phone, your computer, should be good. All you should need is the plug adapter, but be aware that you might want to look into a current adapter as well. Alright, so since I'm bringing my laptop with me on this trip and I'll be packing that up, let's do a little sidebar here. Let's talk about laptops. In my experience and in my opinion, unless you absolutely need to bring a laptop with you, I say don't bring your laptop. It's just gonna be extra weight, extra bulk, and on top of that, it's just one more valuable thing that could disappear somewhere along the road. All right, time to load in the hydro flasks. And guys, seriously, I highly recommend you invest in some water bottles if you're gonna be going out and doing traveling. You'll be able to fill up at hostels, public water fountains, and you'll save a ton of money on paying for bottled water. If you can save the couple of bucks, do it. Okay, and another thing, this is another tip that came to me from my backpacking guru friend Trent, is your day pack. How do you go about the city? How do you go about your day and carry all the stuff that you want to bring with you? Your camera, your outer layers in case things get chilly, etc. The trick is, you get one of these. You get one of these pull string backpacks that you see people have at the gym and such. Because the idea there being is, look how compactly that folds up. Look at that. Go spend $10, $12 on one of these, and you're gonna be set. You're gonna be so set, barely takes up any room in your backpack. On my last trip, on a normal day, in this thing right here, I put both my hydro flasks, I put a notebook, I put a flannel shirt, I put some snacks, fit everything I needed into this bag, and then when it was all done, everything comes out, and boom, here we are. Okay, and one more thing. This is kind of one of those things where you wouldn't necessarily think about it. I definitely did not think about it last time before I went out, but afterwards, never would forget it again. An umbrella. If you're like me and you live in Southern California where it never rains, you just get into that mindset where you step outside your door and you're like, today's just gonna be a great, bright, sunny day and nothing could possibly ruin it. And then you go to places that are in the real world and they have this event called weather, where there are clouds, and sometimes those clouds release moisture in little droplets and they call it rain. So as you can see, it's very small, very compact. Again, it's one of those simple things that you wouldn't think about to bring with you, but it's one of those simple things that it makes a huge difference. You throw that in your backpack, freak storm comes up, boom, look, you're prepared. All right, then I'm gonna strap on my leather jacket, which for me, it's the perfect outer layer. Protects against wind, protects against rain, and it looks badass as all hell. Alright, and there it is. Everything you need to travel right there in your bag. No need to check bags, no need to be separated from the stuff that you need. It's all right there. Everything. Okay. I realized that was really long, that was really tiring, that was a lot of stuff. I'm sorry this episode went so long, but hopefully you guys found something informative in there. Hopefully there was a lot of informative stuff in there, and hopefully you guys learned something new. Whether you're looking at taking a trip down to South America, or you're going to, India or East Asia, or even if you're just going from Austin to Oklahoma City or Los Angeles to San Diego. If all you've ever done in your whole life is packed up your 2 rolly suitcases and you've checked them in and you've paid money to get them checked and you've waited at baggage claim, hopefully, if nothing else, hopefully this has demonstrated that there is a better way to do it. So for those of you who stuck it through, who stayed here till the bitter end, I present #moredog.
Oh, hey Ricky boy. Hey Ricky boy, how you doing? Oh.
Time for your typical end of show business kind of wrap up stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram. I've actually included the link to the Instagram in the bottom down in the video description, so there's not even any effort required on your part. Just scroll on down, click the thing. Just click the little thing. Currently on Instagram, I'm rolling out a whole bunch of awesome travel pictures from past travels that I've done. The whole idea there is just kind of show you some places I've been, start getting you guys real excited for what's to come. Also go ahead and tune into Twitter, where my personal Twitter will keep you updated on what's going on, both here on the channel on YouTube and on Instagram. But most importantly, be sure to tune in next Monday when I'm gonna be rolling out kind of what's our first real episode. It's gonna be the first episode where I actually hit the road and go out someplace cool and show you all the cool stuff to do while you're there. So next week's destination is Phoenix, Arizona. I lived there for 9 years. It's one of my adopted hometowns. So I'm really excited to take you there, and I'm really excited to show you some of the cool places that, you know, are really special to me and that really mean a lot to me. There will be desert. There will be cacti. I even put together a little botany lesson. I'm gonna teach you guys all about desert plants. There will be beer. There's a delicious sandwich that I really want to show off, and there's a guest star. Guys, I got a guest star. I brought a guest star onto the show. You're not just gonna be trapped with me, which I know some of you are saying, thank God, can't stand this guy, get him out of here. Seriously, I'm going for broke. You know, any of you guys out there who are following the 3-episode rule, I know that this is the last chance I have to rope you in, get you hooked for the long haul. So I'm busting out everything I've got, and I'm not throwing away my shot. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. It's a wrap on episode 2. Can't wait to see you guys next week. First real episode, road trip episode, Phoenix, Arizona. So until then, au revoir. Damn, my French is still terrible.